Hello everyone, wherever you are, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Khalid Hussain. I'm based out of Germany. Today's session is again visibility in cloud apps. Today we will jump into this. My name is Khalid Hussain and I'm Microsoft alumni and recently working in cloud security in West European teams. I would try to help you guys in next 30 minutes related to Microsoft Defender for the cloud apps, that if how we can leverage the capabilities of uh, managing and gaining the visibility into the apps, applications, SaaS applications, on-premise applications inside the workplace. Yeah, so bear it with me. I will jump into this session directly. I will do some hands-on also. Let me open up my portal here. Mhm. Hold on. Secure. Yeah. So let me close other ones. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Mm, Discovery dashboards. Yes. Okay. Let me give you guys overview in the start that how it actually works. What are the principles behind? Microsoft rebranded this Microsoft Defender for the cloud apps. Its old name is Microsoft Cloud App Security, let's say. Let's say if you guys are working in the environment that is a hybrid workplace, that you having some instances are working in the office, out of the office, you guys are using, let's say, different kind of applications, Microsoft native, non-Microsoft, multi-cloud, or whatever SaaS applications you guys are using. So what's the benefit of cloud app security or Microsoft Defender for the cloud apps? How you can leverage this? That's really important to understand. So first of all, Microsoft this solution is called CASB, Cloud Access Security Broker. Let's say there are other vendors also available in the market with different names and brands. Symantec and other companies are doing the same, but we will focus today on this part in that sense. So let me give you guys the overview, and then we can drive the conversation ahead. It leverage cloud security posture management, cloud workload protection management also from the Azure side. So that is really powerful if you connect this Azure Security Center or Microsoft Defender for Cloud to other multi-cloud environments. So you can bring in all the connections together into one control platform. And you can leverage this endpoint management also together. You can leverage this integrate data loss prevention related to your information protection based on your data sensitivity, your files, whatever you can call it. Identity and access management and conditional access. And with the Windows Defender, or we can say Microsoft Defender for endpoints, you can leverage this also. And the last pillar is Microsoft Defender for identities. So you can consolidate lots of stuff into one stop shop solution where you can take the action. Let's jump into a demo part that how we can do that. You have to go over here and go into the settings. Into the settings, you have a visibility into that. Let's say if you want to give the access to the files, you can go via this way. You can connect all your SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive, all kind of files into one connection. Microsoft Information Protection, I already assigned the permission because that is my ready to go demo environment. And here you can leverage app connectors over OAuth authentication, OAuth-based applications. Let's say you want to leverage Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, all kind of Graph API-based permission set or command and controls. You can leverage this also. You can connect that if I'm driving some sensitive commands, whatever we can call it. Identity protection, you can connect it with, that is part of impossible travel. Let's say if your user is trying to log in from Frankfurt and after 5 minutes they detect it from Dubai and after 5 minutes they detect it from Singapore, that is impossible travel. So it will detect you in the real time and send the signal to Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. And here is a Defender for identities. You can connect it with Defender for devices. And yeah, so there is several ways that you can set up a connection, the connectors between cloud app security or Defender for cloud apps, so you can gain the visibility. So it's a seamless experience you can achieve. Let's say, just for the example, activity from the infrequent country. So I just want to give you guys highlight that I traveled in last December to Pakistan for my vacation and holidays. You can see that mostly I'm using this account or let's say this environment inside the Europe or the Germany. So I did some failures just intentionally from the location of Pakistan. It gets the activity in the clear way that I'm traveling from infrequent countries which I did not logged in. So of course I can do that with a false positive, but I just want to show you that that's how you can leverage this, and you can also go for the MITRE attacks. Tech tests also, you can leverage that. So I want to jump into cloud app security presentations, that what are actually the principles of discovery part and how it works. So because in the start of, let's say 5 years back, we are mostly relying on in-house applications. We are using users, devices, storage, apps, whatever we can call it. But right now, our life is completely changed in the direction of the cloud. That let's say we are using Salesforce, Box, Dropbox, Amazon, whatever you can call it. There is thousands of the applications. And the big problem here is our breaches happens right now these days is due to the applications that are unsanctioned. Your organization don't allow them, or your organization don't know them that their users are using that. That is called shadow IT. That's really big problem inside the environments. So how cloud app security actually works? It works on four principles, are the four burning point questions. Let's say access control, that who is accessing from where. I show you guys this incident highlighted into the alerts that I traveled to Pakistan and I try to access Azure platform there using my credentials. So it logged on and it gives me the anomaly. Threat detection, data breach, or the shadow IT. So let's look at how cloud app security works. It works on the four principles, basically, like it goes into the discovery, investigation, control, and protection. It gives you the end-to-end solution scalability that you can control your whole complete digital workplace and cloud world from one single pane of glass. So cloud app security overview, it's having connectors, different kind of licensing. It's part of E5 license by Microsoft. And it do the discovery. It also has having app connectors, conditional access. So there is a two flavors of cloud app security or advanced security management. One is native Office 365. One is process, like with E5 security. So in the big picture, if we have a SaaS base, so you can leverage this, you can connect the different kind of applications in the real time. And let me show you guys over here. Let's say app connector. So you can bring in over here. I try to connect it a couple of applications over there, but you have a big list. you can connect it with. Now it's growing, DocuSign, whatever, Atlassian, GitHub, Salesforce, one, so you can connect it. And if you want to connect some applications that are not part of the journey, you can share that feedback to Microsoft, so they will help you to do that. So you can connect your different kind of applications. You can leverage this also to connecting Google or Amazon configurations as a cloud platform into this. You can leverage tons of configurations at one single pane of glass. So let me go quickly, then I come back into the demo part. So how it works, it goes into the discovery. It's not about just to helping into the cloud applications. Even if you have a data, that data you can ingest from your on-premise environment, and you want to read out something that my users, what they are doing in the on-premise environment, offline environment, they are doing the right things or the bad things. So it goes into the shadow IT and assigning actually cloud applications with risk assessment and alerts on the risky cloud usage, what I show you, that anomalous behavior. I try to use it from the infrequent country. So first part is discovery. Second part is information protection for the cloud apps. You can gain the visibility based on the sensitivity labels, what you like to define in your application or in your classification mechanism, DLP, and you can leverage that also based on that. Third part is behavior analytics. If I'm trying to do something that is unusual, it will analyze that. It's more about user entity behavior analysis. And that's really powerful, that signals comes from your Defender for endpoint and Defender for identities. Let's say that what's behavior of your users, how they are doing, how frequently they go under the user risk and the sign-in risk. It calculates in the real time under the security graph, and it gives you the clear signals and actionable items. Yeah, so let's jump into the demo part. I will show you guys here something that we can leverage. Let's say this is a Cisco Iron port. I bring in data from on-premise environment. It's much easier to configure it, let's say. So if you want to bring snapshot reports, you can create snapshot reports. And let's say you can, and this Defender for Cloud, Defender Cloud for apps, cloud apps, it supports most of leading vendors list, so you can connect any appliance with it. So you can bring in on-premise firewalls data into the cloud to see the clear actionable items. Let's say I already did that in January. I uploaded that from the data from the Cisco Iron port. Now you can see that what kind of applications being used in my environment. Let's do little deep dive into that. Let's say the big burning point these days is shadow IT and cloud storage. Let's say we can pick it up one type of workloads by category. And here you can say, okay, risk score less than 5 must be blocked. And you can check that who is doing what exactly. And let's say if you have this application Floxium, you can go into that application. That's actually the purpose of today's session, that you can gain the visibility. That's what's the behavior of this application. This is nothing related to Microsoft exactly. It's related to the security and compliance frameworks, or the feature set, are bodies who are working to validate vendors. So you can, most of the organization are people thinking sometimes that, oh, okay, this is Microsoft built, but that is Microsoft sponsored. No, these certifications not managed by Microsoft. Microsoft is just doing the risk assessment based on those compliance or legal or security certifications. So now you can see that this application is being used legally. It's not compliant with GDPR. That's a problem. And it does not meet the requirement for ISO 27017, ISO 27001. So does it make sense for you to keep using your users are trying to manage this? They are trying to upload data, but you are working with OneDrive, with Dropbox, other cloud vendors. This is a risk for the organization. So you can analyze, you can gain the visibility in the real time. And then you can say that, please, I want to unsanction this application. And with the one click, you can unsanctioned or sanctioned, it's up to you. I'm just going to release these applications just as an example. So when you pick it up, this application, and you put it the tag unsanctioned, when I'm trying to access this application, let's say in my environment, on my Windows devices, whatever workplace device I use, outbound traffic will be blocked automatically with one click done. Here you can see that go into this cloud application, check that which user used this. Okay, you can see that these users are using this application, but that is shadow IT. It's not allowed. And what kind of applications IP address is being used? You can leverage that visibility also, that they are using from the office or they are using from the out of the office. Is there any alerts for that? For now, it's not. So you can get the clear visibility about this application with much broader scope, and you can leverage this that you can manage. Let's say, because whenever I try to access www.floxium.com/login, it will automatically, my system will block that your administrator don't allow you to use this application. So that's how you can leverage this capability for managing your shadow IT or discovery part into your environment. So you can check what kind of resources will be there, what you are doing exactly, what kind of IP addresses, and who are the users they're using, let's say. So just you can check, let's say, based on the one user, you can check that, okay, how many applications this user is using. And let's say this user is really open source friendly, you can check that, okay, it's using Red Hat, that's fine. But when you check this Net40, it's a business management platform, and then you can again leverage this capability to gain the visibility into the applications. Then you will see that, okay, this is not fine. So you can take the action over that. That's it. So this is how you can leverage the capacity of discovery with the Microsoft Defender for the cloud applications. And you can upload multiple reports, whatever you like to do. And now I come back into the investigation, into the activity part, let's say. So in activities, you can also check. Discovery part is done. Now we are in investigation phase. In an investigation, I try to set up company portal, who is a user, from which app connector I did the activity, 20th of March, set the company information so you can get complete visibility. Failed login, you can see that my name under the portal, app connector from the, and this is my location actually, which ISP I'm using on. I can get into the user accounts also into the investigation. I'm using different accounts. Security configurations, as I mentioned. Let's say I connected Microsoft Defender for cloud into the Azure. So you see, I get all kind of alerts into the one dashboard related to my cloud platform environment also. So it's saying to me that I have a problem that is coming from Microsoft Defender for Cloud, that I have a high alert. So I can leverage this also. I can, let's say, mark down severity. I can take the action on my cloud platform. So these are the low level. This is a medium. So you can leverage this. And resource type, subscriptions, let's say, security benchmark, you can leverage this also. You want to protect under this one, select the subscription. I have 2 subscriptions, so I can put it Visual Studio Enterprise, so you can see that this is actually multi-factor should enable to the owner's permission. So you get lots of controls, visibility into one dashboard for Azure platform, for Amazon, for Google platform, let's say, uh, or you have any kind of regulatory compliance here. So you can leverage that also. Into identity security, it will analyze your real-time domain controllers. It gives you the clear visibility that how you can drive your on-premise infrastructure with identities. And OAuth authentication, that is a big challenge into the securities because that's the most pain point in the organizations actually, because we are using lots of applications. Let me give you guys one example. Let's say I'm using Sessionizer for my, let's say this one. Now you see here over here. Let's say if I'm trying to log in with the Sessionizer, I use Office 365 account and it will try to access my informations. That's organizations don't know, and it's a big gap in the understanding that what exactly they are doing. You can read it out. We don't read as a human. We just only go consent on the behalf and accept. So that's actually a big problem. You see over here that allow the access with your basic profile and allow the apps to see the update the data you access even when you are not currently using the app. This does not give the app any additional permissions. So it's a very tricky language. Most of the hackers, they create some kind of dashing applications and we don't know that what kind of permissions they are accessing in the real time. That is OAuth flaw, you can say, not as a protocol, but into the process that we really need to look into that. Let's say I say cancel it, and now this alert will get generated very soon into my environment. So you can leverage this also, says that what kind of applications being used inside your environment, and you can monitor all kind of OAuth authentication. So let's say this application is being used. If there is a false positive, you can create it getting the permissions, model, everything in one place. So the third step is control mechanism. So we can I will try to explain it in the shorter way that let's say we manage one policy. Let's say this is kind of policy management for the protection. First part was discovery, second part was investigation, and third part is control. So into the control, let's say we go over access policy. We go into the templates, policies. I go into the access policy. Sorry, I have to pick it up and we can access policies, 1 minute, activity policies. Okay, so let's say if one mass user is trying to download data when you are, let's say, you can pick it up. I connected AWS also with it. So you can say, okay, if someone is trying to change something into the EC2 instances, so you can leverage this also equal to workloads, and you can put it, okay, if the cost is that person based in whatever country, I would put it in Germany, you can put it like that, and you can add more filters into this, and you can say his device type must be PC, yes, that's it. If you wanna make some changes, and you can say device tagged as equal to hybrid join, whatever, you can set up the conditions. If people don't like to go with that, suspend that user, let's say, and you can send the alerts, you can send the text messages, whatever, you can call it and create that policy. If I am, yeah, yes, Shakir.
I'm just trying
What?
to think you have got 2 to 3 minutes left.
Okay, that's, I'm going to conclude it now.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to mention.
yeah, okay. So in the same way, you can leverage this also for the files policies. That's it. It's much easier. So if you have some kind of file shared with unauthorized domain, so you can leverage this also. You can say like abc.com, abc.com, whatever domain you want to protect against. And you can say, okay, location, collaborators, file ID, file type, whatever. It's completely up to you. And you can say apply to the all files. Inspection method you can create, let's say, into the data classification, inspection type, sensitive information. You can say EU related informations all in one page, done. That's it. You can mark it. And if someone is trying to share, you can say remove the externals automatically, apply this sensitivity label as a confidential for the employees, create the policy. So that's how you can protect your cloud applications like SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, data that not get exfiltrated out of the environment. And last part of this is again unusual activities related to frequency, data exfiltrated, whatever you can call it. Let's say this is alert generated by a sessionizer, I think, and at some other applications also. I try to log in over there so you can get clear login, so visibility that what exactly you are doing, which user, what the date, time, unspecified services, might be I did something via API, whatever. So yeah, that's a Microsoft Defender for the cloud applications. It's a very powerful solution. In 30 minutes, I try to conclude it as I can. And if you guys have any question, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer here. Thank you, Shakir.
Brilliant session. Brilliant session.